Yesterday, Donald Trump had a bad day, perhaps the worst day he's had here recently. And that's saying something because in the past year, he's had several bad days with all of these indictments, these criminal indictments that have happened. But yesterday may have been the worst day so far. And I want to talk about it today. I want to talk about what it means. And I want to talk about how it impacts us. But before I do, let me reintroduce myself. My name is Elliott Connie. I'm a licensed psychotherapist. And here in the Therapist React series, I want to talk about what's happening in the news and how it impacts us psychologically, what the psychotherapeutic lessons can be in these stories. I want to talk about the things happening in popular culture and the way that we can use this information to increase our mental health and have a better society. And I think the story that happened yesterday is worth discussing. Donald Trump and his presidency, if we go all the way back to 2015, I remember Donald Trump's, the beginning of his campaigning. Obviously, he started campaigning in 2015 for the 2016 election. And he was saying things that were, not great and didn't sound the way that we were used to a president talking and saying things. He was making statements about women. He was making fun of reporters. I mean, I won't go into the comments because I don't think that's necessarily relevant here. But he was saying a whole bunch of things. And I just couldn't see a world where he would continue running for president in that way. And obviously I was wrong and he won and all the things. But I remember having a conversation with somebody close to me who said she was supporting Donald Trump. And I asked her why. And she said because he's such a good businessman that she thinks a businessman should be in charge of the country. And Donald Trump has built his brand on being a good businessman. And yesterday, the court ruled that his entire business in New York is based on fraud because he's been overestimating and overvaluing the value of his business. And that really is serious fraud. And his business is likely to lose its ability to conduct business in New York, which would almost put an end to the Trump empire. But let me explain to you what that means. If I want to take a loan, so the county has assessors, and they will come to my home where I'm sitting now, and they will assess my home and tell me the value of that home. Now, if I want to take out a loan, this home is an asset that I own. And if I want to take out a loan, I have to list the assets that I own, and that will impact the size of the loan because the bank has every right to know how much risk they're taking by loaning Elliott money. So if the assessor, I'm just going to use round numbers. If the assessor comes into my home and says, we value this home at $100,000, and I go to the bank and I say, it's actually valued at $1 million. That's 10 times what it's actually valued at. And the bank loans me money based upon my valuation, based upon what I told them it's worth. I've now committed fraud. And everybody would know that. If I got a loan based upon that number, everybody would know that sounds like fraud. Elliott did something wrong. And it's not criminal, but it is wrong, and I should be punished, and the bank will come after that money, all the things. Donald Trump misrepresented the value of his property by 2,300%. So this is not an amount that is like an overestimation or miscalculation or just kind of rounding up. This is basing his entire organization on fraud. And listen to the explanation here.
From the politics, what is your sense, having covered this so closely, about where this goes from here? I mean, there's a lot of talk of Donald Trump being effectively booted out of New York City as a real estate developer, 40 Wall Street, Trump Tower, the properties up in Westchester that he had. Is that realistic, that he could be stripped of his ability to do business in the city and the state?
Yeah, I mean, that's the big question today. Some lawyers have called this sort of a corporate death penalty.
A corporate death penalty. He may be stripped of doing business in New York City and in New York State. This is significant, and it should call into question everything that is based upon the platform of Donald Trump running for president, that I'm good at business. And it turns out that he's not. It turns out that not only is he not good at business, but his business is based on fraud. And he's about to get the corporate death penalty. The Trump brand may not be able to function anymore. And guys, I don't understand the need to continue to defend the data that is in front of us. I don't understand the need or the refusal to accept the data that is in front of us. There's a thing that we have a hard time doing, and we all do it. I do it. We all have a hard time doing it, and that is acknowledging when we're wrong. We supported Donald Trump because he's charismatic and he's funny and he appears to be honest because he says the things that we all want to be saying. But there is significant data that there have been misrepresentations of the truth that are actually relevant to the point here. Relevant to what he is trying to accomplish and relevant what he's trying to do. But none of us like admitting when we were wrong. I had a funny situation with a friend last night. I said one thing, she said another. And I said, there's no way that's true, can't be true, that thing won't happen. 15 minutes later, the thing she said wouldn't happen happened. I had to call her back and say, you were right. And that's hard, like we don't want to do that. But we have to overcome that and acknowledge that we were wrong. And we also have to think what's best for this future endeavor. He may not have any money as he is running for president while fighting 4 indictments while dealing with this massive ruling that happened yesterday. So I just want you to think about that. I really just want you to take a minute and think about that. Whether you support Donald Trump or not, like I want you to think about what this means. The human brain is easily misled by branding. So it's like we think of him as successful. So now it's like all of these attacks are unfair. Unless he actually did them. And this is one of the things where a judge just ruled he actually did them. Those of you who support Donald Trump, I want you to do an exercise for me. I want you to think of all of the indictments and accusations that have come forward about Donald Trump. And pretend for a moment that those accusations had been put forth about Barack Obama. Would you be arguing with them? Would you be struggling to accept them? Would you be having a hard time believing that they were true? Would you be posting on social media that they're just out to get Barack Obama? No, you would accept them. You would use that information to attack him. You would use that information to try to discredit him and try to say he was a bad president. And we should take a step back and activate the logical part of our brain, not the emotional one, and be able to determine that there's information here that is relevant to the job he is applying for. There's information here that is relevant to what he is asking us to do and believe about him. And also there's a practical issue is his company may have just ended. And that's not me saying that. This is a corporate death penalty. So think about that. We have to overcome the challenge of admitting that we were wrong. And we have to activate the logical part of our brain. Because I think this is going to be a difficult few years for not just Donald Trump, but the Trump family. Because like the indictments were about Donald Trump. This is about the Trump brand and the Trump family and their ability to make money going forward. But it's also about our ability to assess information and data and what is actually happening in front of us. So that's the biggest story in the news I saw. And not even talking about what I think of, President Trump or not. We got to be able to take in this information and take it for what it actually means. So what did you think when you saw this story? I'm genuinely curious. And don't be nasty and awful and attacking me personally and all those things in the comments. I'm being very serious. I genuinely want to know what you thought when you saw this story. I just told you what I thought when I saw the story and what's relevant and important about the story, but I want to hear what you thought. So please leave a comment on this video because I really want to hear what you think. And also, please like this video, share this video, and thank you so much to all of you who subscribe and support my YouTube channel. Please continue to do that. Hit that subscribe button and also hit the bell so you get notified each time we publish a video on the Therapist Reacts series. It means the world to me. It means everything to me, which is every single day, Monday through Friday. Thank you guys so much for being here. I cannot wait to see you. I love y'all. Can't wait to see you in the next video coming out tomorrow. Until then, enjoy. Have a great day. And I look forward to hearing what your thoughts are on this video and on this story.